Good afternoon once more, our dear members of the association, and welcome to the end of year address by the ICTAZ president, Dr. Clement Sinyangwe. Kindly let me know if I'm loud enough.
Loud and clear.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking time to join us. It's a Q&A session, so the president will give his updates on the affairs of the association. So he will speak into some of the strides the association has made. Then, of course, touch on the challenges which we faced along the way and some of the things which we had to do to overcome the challenges. And of course, he will give us a direction of what we look for ahead for the future. Then from there, he will conclude the speech and we'll be glad to take questions. So at this point, allow me to hand over to the ICTAZ president, Dr. Sinyangwe, to give his speech.
Good afternoon, esteemed members of the association. I think this is yet another time when we get to interact. You know, some of us, it's very difficult when you're seeing messages on WhatsApp. It's very, you know, sometimes you're tempted to answer, but again, you're held to say, oh, let me allow people to debate. But we see all the contributions that you make. It's not like we ignore. We see them, but I feel this is an appropriate time for me to attend to some of the issues that have been raised by the members, also to give some of the things we've been doing in the background, and also share our challenges and also the plans that we have ahead, so that we work together, we are on the same page, and see what we can do to develop this lovely association of us. So let me start by, it's a festive season, and I wish, take this opportunity to wish you all the best and compliments of the season. As we conclude 2024, we celebrate a year that stands as a testament to the remarkable strides we have made together. That is the council, the ICTAZ management and staff, and the esteemed members. This year has been characterized by a lot of milestones achieved through your unwavering dedications and support. And this address is not only an opportunity to reflect on our shared journey, but also to realign our vision for the future. So I also thank you for joining this webinar and for your steadfast commitment to ICTAZ. I would take this, the past 10 years as a decade of progress. Why? Because our association was founded on the principles that ICT professionals deserve distinct recognition as a profession. And for over a decade, we've dedicated individuals across the public and private sectors who've worked tirelessly to elevate ICT to its rightful place, separate from the shadows of the engineering sector. You agree with me that I'm focusing on the decade because that's when the activities of this association just started making strides. Otherwise, this association has existed for more than 30 years. For those who may wish to know, it existed as Computer Sat of Zambia and originated from Chingola. Like 30 years ago, when a few individuals thought they would, embark on a journey to separate us from the engineering institute. Yeah, so basically from 2012, when things started just getting serious, to 2018. A lot of efforts to secure legal recognition were numerous and persistent. And today, as we speak, ICTAZ stands tall and proud of the standards and progress we've established to distinguish ICT professionals from the general technology users. Now, let me take this opportunity to reflect on the 2024 achievements and milestones. The first one is expanding beyond the Midlands. I think, as you may be aware, ICTAZ existed just in Lusaka, basically. So this year saw an introduction of the Northern Region Mini ICT Conference, tailored to the mining industry sectors, and the inaugural event was held in Solwezi, and it was a resounding success, and we eagerly anticipate the second edition in February 2025. So people on the Copper Belt, please take note of the second big Northern Region Mini ICT Conference, because we want to ensure that that area also is catered for. And then we'll continue going in other parts of provinces. The second thing is that of membership growth and stakeholder engagement. We've continued to score a growth in membership, and over the past 2 years, we've seen the growth of membership up to over 300%. Yes, 300% over the past 2 years. Last year, with the help of Smart Zambia Institute, we managed to onboard about 400 civil servants onto our database, and we established a mechanism where compliance and payments by civil servants are being done directly through the payroll. With our continued work, the impact we have continued to make in the industry is there and evident for everyone else to see. The strong stakeholder engagement we've established has continued to yield results for this association, and every day we are called upon for different assignments in both the public and private sectors. Most of you agree that whenever you have made yourself available, the Secretariat has reached out to you to represent the association. And 2 weeks ago, we were among the few resource institutions that presented at the 56th plenary assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum in Livingstone. Actually, not even just to say a few, we were the only association maybe invited, apart from the Ministry of Technology and the other wings of the government. So we were the only ones who were invited to go and, present a paper, and I presented the paper. I represented you before the SADC Parliamentarian Forum, which even saw the Speaker of the National Assembly in developing interest and invited us to pay KTSCO to our office. So this is in our collaborative efforts to ensure that we create synergies and partnership with a lot of organization, also with the Ministry of Technology and Science, led by our Honorable Tati. We've been instrumental in pursuing participation in all major events, and ICTAZ has gained also international recognition as a primary member of the Technological Information Confederation of Africa, TICONA, and Zambia proudly claimed the ICT Professional of the Year award through Mr. Christopher Lavusha of NAPSA, competing against TICON African member countries who came from other 10 members countries. So this is also a very big plus, and we actually positioning ourselves to host the 2026 regional conference here in Zambia. So we may need your support to ensure that this comes to fruition. On resource mobilization and financial growth, audited financial statements reflect a prudent management resulting in substantial revenue growth and strengthened our balance sheet. The first thing that we've done is quarterly external audits to ensure that we keep our books clean. We are conducting quarterly audits, and this has enhanced our ability to address operational gaps promptly, ensuring excellence. We know that by practice, audits are done on an annual basis, but in the absence of the internal auditors, you know, we are growing. We decided to engage externals to, do quarterly audits. Then these accumulate into an annual report. So this is working very well for the association. And also the fifth thing is successive conferences at AGM this year. Attendance of our conference grew from an average of 100 to over 600 delegates, ladies and gentlemen. And these events now provide platforms for collaboration, capacity building, professional development through our master classes that we've introduced. We introduced training sessions at conferences, which has been well received, aligning with our commitment to member development. So for those people who've been asking one of the benefits, indeed, this is one of the benefits. I'm yet to come again to shed more light about the benefits. The sixth thing is very important, strengthening corporate governance. You know, we've exchanged hands. This association has exchanged hands. We've seen a number of, executives coming in and out, and all this, we call it a learning curve. So it's not how long some of us have spent in this organization, but we see this as a positive, thing which has helped us to strengthen our corporate governance. So to enhance this governance and improve the way ICTAZ operates, ladies and gentlemen, we've made significant strides in this key area, and key achievements include restructuring the Executive Council to function as a board. We realized that there was a lot of entanglement and crisscrossing between the Secretariat and the Council, where you find members of the Council trying to operate as, part of the Secretariat and vice versa. But we had to ensure that we restructure this function so that we allow the, Council to function as a board, and establishing committees under this board to strengthen oversight and operational efficiency. This, in addition to the Professional Ethics and Compliance Committee, which is formed under the statutory instrument, and the Membership Registration Board, which also mandated by the Act and the statutory instruments. We've introduced to this effect 4 additional committees. Allow me just to stress a point on this. I'm sure most of you have been wondering to why up to now we haven't announced the committees like we've been doing in the past, where you form technical committee, professional development. But like I mentioned, we wanted to strengthen the governance. And when you read about governance, the board has the committees of the boards. So far, we introduced those committees of the boards. The first one being Governance and Human Capital Committee, and then Operations, Technical Affairs, and Professional. So this Governance and Human Capital will look at different things pertaining to governance, human capital, and even the plight of the staff. This is the committee which will be, deliberating on those things. Then we have Operational, Technical Affairs, and Professional Development Committee. All this will be in charge with the technical affairs and professional development of the. Then we also have the third committee we've introduced called Audit and Risk. I'm sure as it goes, this will be handling the audit and risk of this association, and then report. All these committees will be reporting to the main board, and also Finance and Business Development Committee. So to guide these committees and their membership, we established the first ever ICT Association of Zambia board charter. We developed a board charter and complete it with terms of references for each committee that I've read. And this charter serves as a foundational document to ensure clarity and alignment in board operations. So for the first time in the association's history, we've also conducted corporate governance training for the board members. Just after you elected us in office, we sought for experts to come and conduct the corporate governance training for these board members. And this initiative was designed to equip ourselves as the board with the skills necessary to effectively manage the organization's affairs. And additionally, we fully implemented the professional ethics and compliance committee as required by the Act and statutory instrument. As you may remember, the time we were at the AGM, we did not, the committee was not filled, but we managed to fulfill this, of course, considering what is stipulated in the Act. And to address vacancies in this same committee, during the, remember, like I stated during, which was not filled during the elections, we appointed BGS, Bridging Gap Solutions, as a public sector representative, and Mr. Ngoi Kalamatila also as a representative from the public, so the cooperative for BGS and the public sector for Mr. Kamatila, as required by the law. And please take note that these appointments are in the acting capacity until the next elections that will be held by elections at the AGM next year. So they will be acting on these positions until we have elections for these two positions at the AGM, but we couldn't leave them without people. So looking ahead, we are in the process of engaging a secretary or legal counsel on the retainer basis. And this role will focus on managing legal matters and serving as a key advisor to this association. And one of the first assignments will be to ensure that all employment contracts are aligned with applicable employment statutes and to draft the robust, enduring constitution of the association, also the code of conduct and other policies that may help this association operates effective. So these initiatives demonstrate our commitment to embedding strong governance practices that will ensure ICTAZ long-term success and sustainability. When it comes to staff welfare improvements, with the council approval, we restructured staff roles and enhanced conditions of service, positioning ICTAZ as an employer of choice. Because we don't want to employ people like they are temporal or part-time, but we wanted to ensure that ICTAZ become attractive where people will be looking forward to resign from other institutions and join our association. The eighth thing is the modern ERP system launch. In October, ladies and gentlemen, we launched a robust ERP system integrating financial, procurement, human capital management, and membership modules. This platform enables seamless payment integration and offers members tools to manage their finances and CPDs and skills. Property acquisition. ICTAZ is finalizing the purchase of our current premises with partial payment completed already and legal formalities underway. We anticipate full ownership of this premise we are using as office space in January 2025. Otherwise, we've made partial payments. You know, it's a long process. We had to deal with the Ministry of Land issues. We had to deal with the different, you know, legal documents to ensure that we do not have issues going forward. And also, we managed to settle ZRA taxes in case they are tax collectors listening to us. They may follow us. So we managed to ensure that we paid all those things. And once we acquire, future plans include renovating this place and eventual construction of an ICTAZ house. On this, ladies and gentlemen, we will need your support and to work together to ensure that we actualize this thing. The 10th thing is celebrating excellence. 2024 ICTAZ ICT Awards and Gala Dinner at Intercontinental Hotel celebrated the industry's finest feedback. Feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and we are committed to raising the bar even higher in future events. The other thing is that of finalizing SIs. The journey to solidify our establishment has been one of the mixed experiences. We've encountered both smooth paths and moments that tested our resilience, demanding that we dig deep within ourselves to keep believing and pushing forward. Our act was enacted in 2018, and it has taken us 6 solid years to finalize statutory instruments. 6 years is a significant span of time, ladies and gentlemen. And when we reflect on this, it is clear that such a delay is not only unusual, but indicative of underlying issues. However, the good news is that we have arrived at this point, and we now have the statutory instruments in place. Allow me to briefly take you through the journey that we took in this event. One, the bill's evolution into an act, and the other thing, the process leading to the finalization of the SIs. Dear members, I would like to highlight that the drafting of these SIs has been a meticulous back and forth process involving numerous stakeholders. We had contributions from the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Technology, various regulatory agencies, the judiciary, the ourselves as an association, and others, including the Business Review Regulatory Authority. Now, on this one, one of the issues that we were asked to undertake, I know a lot of you have been asking about the fee structure, which I'll touch soon, but it was one of the issues that was considered when we were drafting these SIs. So one of the challenges we faced, contrary to our wishes and advice, was the requirement stated in section 21 part 7 of the Act, which mandates that the practicing certificate fees explicitly be prescribed in the SIs. Now, this was an unfortunate aspect of the Act design. And while drafting the SIs, we also identified areas where we felt improvements could have been made. And it's important to recognize that much has changed in the past 6 years since the Act was first enacted, and what was once fit for purpose is now somewhat outdated. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that it's not easy to change the contents of the Act. So we may come across different things that are not sitting well in the Act, and those led to some of the inclusions and clauses of the SIs, like we are saying. But at an appropriate time, we may need to revisit this Act. But these things are not straightforward, but they follow a certain sequence and takes a lot of time. So in addition to the issue of prescription of the SIs, we also recognize other sections of the Act that require comprehensive revision. At the point of drafting these SIs, we face a pivotal choice: either suspend the process or push for repeal of the act, which would have meant starting from scratches, and then we start again to start fighting for crafting of the SIs and putting them into law. So we thought it was easy and prudent for us to have the act implemented partially, and also the SIs we have them in place. Then later we can start, pushing for repealing of the act to ensure that we clean some of the gray areas that are in the act. So we chose the latter, and the proceeding. By proceeding, we now have a framework to work with, and once this is in place, we can collaborate closely to determine the best way forward. Be rest assured, we've established a strong relationship with the National Assembly, and moving forward, we anticipate a less cumbersome process than what we faced previously. When it comes to the elephant in the house, the revision of the membership fees, I noted on the platform a lot of people complaining about this revision, and the signing of the SIs bring us to the next important issue at hand, which is this issue of the fees. Now, since announcement was made, we have received a wide range of feedback on this matter, and before we dive deeper into the discussion, I want to assure you that both the previous and current executive councils have always acted with the best interest of our membership in mind. And as previously mentioned, the formulation of the SIs required us to prescribe the fees, and several factors were carefully considered in determining these fees, one of which was the understanding that because they are now part of the statutory instrument, any revision in future will require a formal process. And additionally, it's important to note that the fees had not been revised in many years. You can agree with me that they've been very stagnant for a long time. And despite this revision, the fees still remain among the lowest compared to most professional bodies. For this, I encourage you to conduct a survey and benchmark on how ICTAZ is charging as compared to these other professional bodies. We do acknowledge that an earlier notice would have been ideal. Unfortunately, we faced challenges in completing the SI process, and the SIs were only signed in November and gazetted in mid-December. And for that, allow me to take full responsibility for the delay, though it was not intentional. I would also want to shed more light that when we started in the previous regime to prescribe these fees, I was part of the process. And we invited the Business Regulatory Review Agency to come and work with us for a week. A lot of money was spent through the process, and they actually controlled how much can be charged to the corporates and the individual members. And also, these were published on their website for 21 days. All these fees were published on that website as a requirement by law. So those the code for anyone who was able to write and argue back the fees. But unfortunately, no feedback was given, no negative feedback was given to that effect. So they approved and they wrote to us to say the government was okay with the same, fees through that agency. Colleagues, pardon me, I think on the gazetting of the SIs, I made a mistake. They were signed in October and gazetted in November. Colleagues, I want to mention to you that running an association requires adequate resources to deliver the value that you expect as members. We need those resources. It has been quite a while since fees were last revised, like I stated, and as such, the increase may appear substantial. However, please be rest assured that careful consideration was given to the adjustment, and we believe these are the best possible rates under the current circumstances. Also allow me to now come to the challenges that we faced under this period under review as an association. One, building the association's reputation. I think time immemorial we've been struggling to ensure that we maintain a very positive image of this association and build its reputation. So ICTAZ cannot deliver the much needed value to our members if we truly build a strong and reputable name for ourselves. And I urge each one of you to speak positively about this association. Unfortunately, at times, we've inadvertently undermined our own reputation. We've assassinated our own reputations. We've doubted our own capabilities to a point where we create doubts among our stakeholders. And this, ladies and gentlemen, it does not sit well, especially to the leadership who is trying very hard to ensure that we bring this image forward in a positive manner. I encourage everyone, therefore, to be ambassadors of ICTAZ and advocate for a good name of our association. The second challenge is lacunas in the current constitution. The gaps in the current constitution presented a significant challenge, particularly as we approached elections, and the need for a strong, timeless constitution is urgent. And the time to address it is now. Be rest assured, we are committed to deliver a revised constitution that meets these needs. The third challenge is lack of modern membership system. A lot of you cried for this issue, and the absence of this system deprived us of the essential member data we needed to deliver personalized value. And without this information, it was challenging to understand our members and cater to your needs effectively. We now have the system in place, and I encourage each one of you to ensure you properly onboard, you are onboarded so that you do not miss out on the benefits. Again, take note that the first part of this system was to allow us to onboard ourselves from the old system to this new system. And the other challenge was the lengthy process of formulating the SIs. The extended process of formulating the statutory instruments was a significant challenge. Many initiatives were delayed as a result, although we only succeeded in completing this task towards the end of this year, and we are pleased that we have now moved past this stage. The fifth thing is that of election process and post-election challenges. The election process, particularly the petition that was followed, resulted in a loss of time and momentum, not forgetting huge amounts of money. The newly elected executive could not assume full operations until the case was resolved. We never wanted to be seen as anxious people, but we allowed democracy to take its course. So we allowed the petition process with individual appointed committees, reviewing the case and passing the judgment. However, there is a value in having a strong and mature democracy like we did, where everyone has the right to exercise their democratic rights. This process to us demonstrates the maturity we've achieved as an association. Lack of cost indicative fees. That's another challenge. The absence of cost indicative fees has posed operational challenges and hindered our ability to deliver value effectively. So these are some of the challenges among many others. Looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have worked now tirelessly to establish ICTAZ and ensure the legal and regulatory frameworks are in place. We've also built a strong and trusted brand, and now it's time to deliver the much needed value to our members. And we're looking forward, we have just concluded our current strategic plan. We're now in the process of drafting the new 3-year strategic plan from 2025 to 2027. And this upcoming plan will focus on value to you, our members. I think we've been hearing a lot of people asking on the value they have to find or to get, being part of this association. So our focus of the next strategic plan will be value delivery. And as we do this, it is important to realize that our professional body, there is no greater value we can create for professionals than fostering professional growth and establishing a platform for continuous capacity building, also signing meaningful and impactful memorandum of understanding, fostering collaboration, linking you to opportunities, and spotlighting your profiles and achievements, and establishing a firm platform for you to flourish among many others. Join me in going through some of the key priorities that we want to focus on going forward, or that we expect to see in the strategic plan. One, in strengthening the ICT professionals in Zambia, we intend to develop our own ICT standards. This is, a form of dedicated, we'll need a form of dedicated committee to draft ICT standards that address local and regional needs. We also want to align standards with global best practices while considering Zambia's unique challenges. The second thing is advocating for the profession, increasing participation in policy discussion and advocate for ICT professional recognition in the legislative process. We also want, under this, to launch public awareness campaigns showcasing critical role of ICTAZ in national development. The third thing is we want to establish professional development programs. This will be done through offering certifications, continuous learning opportunities, and training tailored programs to market demands. I beg your pardon, and training tailored to market demands. The other thing, under establishing professional development, we intend to organize workshops and conferences featuring industry leaders and cutting-edge technologies. And also to empower members through opportunities, we intend, one, by offering exclusive business and individual opportunities. This will be done through facilitating of exclusive access to business leads. We aim to start creating business leads, and also partnerships, job postings through a dedicated portal, and also provide members with financial, legal, marketing tools to support their entrepreneurial ventures. We also aim to, start spotlighting achievements by creating an online showcase for members, projects, and contributions to the ICT fields. We also want to host recognition events like annual, gala, and award ceremonies to highlight members' accomplishment. What you saw this month is just a tip of an iceberg, but we intend to start doing this in a better and bigger way. The other thing is enhancing networking opportunities. This will be done through fostering member collaboration through structured networking events, one, by mentorship programs and regional meetups. Also share and connect with potential collaborators. We also want to look at fostering collaboration and growth. And this one, we intend to do it through establishing partnership with global ICT organization, because we've already established ourselves at an international level. As you may be aware, we hold seats at a regional level, and we've participated actively in these regional activities, positioning ICTAZ as one of the biggest, if not the biggest professional body, ICT professional body in the region. This also will do and encourage cross, sector collaboration by integrating ICT expertise into projects in energy, agriculture, and healthcare. The other thing we want to focus on ensuring relevance of ourselves by conducting periodic market research. I think ICTAZ has never conducted any research in its history. And ladies and gentlemen, come 2025, we are conducting the first periodic market research to identify trends and adapt offerings to the evolving industry landscape. We believe through research is the only way we're going to improve and ensure that we deliver value to you, our members. We also need intend to do this through provision to provide thought leadership. Leadership through publications, thought leadership through publications, research reports, and national ICT position papers. We want to reach a point where ICTAZ can write a national paper and submit it to the PDU or even the ministry or any responsible wing of the government, and to ensure that we contribute to the growth of ICT in the country. So far, we've voiced out on a lot of national issues, and ladies and gentlemen, the government has been giving us a hearing, at time, and they've really answered and reached out to us for involvement in activities. The other thing is that of fostering innovations. This will be done through launching innovation challenges to encourage members to develop solutions for the real world. Also, to create ICTAZ Innovation Hub to incubate ideas and support startups within the association. Also, we want to protect and elevate the industry at large. This will be done through protecting our, the protection of our industry will be done through advocate for strict enforcement of ICT regulation and the use of certified professionals in all ICT roles. Educate also the members about compliance requirement and provide tools to ensure adherence to regulations. And we also want to ensure that no ICTAZ member is reporting to a non-ICTAZ member apart from the CEO, and we now have the law to support this. So this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get me clearly that I'll promise you on behalf of my executive and the entire management and staff that we are taking this issue of reporting to non-ICT members seriously, and soon we'll be doing a position paper through maybe the responsible authorities to ensure that ICT is regarded as a standalone, department in almost all the organizations, and create directorates so that we start or we have a permanent seat in the board. So also to establish solid foundation for our voice, we intend to develop robust communication strategy to position ICTAZ as a trusted authority in ICT matters. We also want to engage in regional and global forums to ensure Zambia's ICT agenda is presented and advanced. The last thing we want to focus on is creating a unified member database. Through this robust system we've created, we intend to implement a centralized modern membership system to track and professional profiles and provide tailored support. And also, this will see us use data insights to design programs and initiatives that directly meet our members' needs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be doing myself an injustice if I do not also include the students in our plan. We've seen that students are struggling with internship and getting of jobs. So as part of the benefits for the students, so far we've engaged the part of the government wings to ensure that they start considering internship for these people, so that when they finish, we can also deploy, apart from public sector, we deploy some of the students who are part of our chapters to go and do internship. We also intend to lobby through these defense forces, Zambia Air Force, Zambia Army, Zambia Police, ZNS, to ensure that they consider a minimum number of our graduates when they are recruiting, to prioritize them and give them spaces. As we know, it's not an easy to get into those wings. So for those who want to practice ICT defense forces, we want to ensure that we do that with these forces. And the other thing I almost forgot is, part of your members, we've also engaged Zamren to ensure that through EduRoam, they give us EduRoam as the ICTAZ, so that you members, through your membership number, if you are in these public places where EduRoam is, you'll be able to access internet using the fees that you pay through ICTAZ. And that is, so far at East Park, we have EduRoam. I think at Intercity, we have EduRoam. KK International Airport, we have EduRoam. Entebbe in Uganda, we have EduRoam. In Nairobi, South Africa, Botswana. So if you are in these places, you'll be lucky to use your internet using your authentication of membership details at no charge at all. In appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the following individuals and organizations for their unwavering support throughout the year. The first one, of course, the Honorable Minister of Technology and Science, Honorable Felix Mutati, and the entire ministry, the Permanent Secretary under this ministry, directors, members of staff at Ministry of Technology, the National Coordinator and Government Chief ICT Officer at Smart Zambia, also directors and staff at Smart Zambia, you, our esteemed members, both corporate and individuals, the Executive Council, both past and present, the Secretariat, our partners, the sponsors in various events. A special thanks to you for the support done and unwavering support. Some of the notable sponsors that I would mention that have been very outstanding and consistent includes the Zambia Revenue Authority, the Star Labs, Innovative Dynamics, Kenag, Spark Systems, CES, Astria Learning, Digital Safe, PGS, NatSafe, UBA, Bank of Zambia, to mention a few. Also Zamtel, MFI, Zcom, Broad Image, FQM, ZNBS, NAPSA, Liquid Telecoms, Airtel, One Light. I cannot manage to mention all of you, but know that all these have been very helpful to us. We can't grow without you. The 4-year strategic plan, 20 to 2024, has run its course, ladies and gentlemen. Let me reemphasize, and highlighting areas for improvement and focus to meet member stakeholders' expectation. In 2025, we aim to expand public and private sector membership, grow student chapters from 12 to 20, fostering industrial-ready graduates. And also change, we have to acknowledge that change is inevitable, but so is growth. So let us continue to evolve into a professional body we are all proud to belong to. Once again, compliments of the season, and I look forward to your active participation in 2025. Together, we have achieved so much, and the future of ICTAZ holds even greater promises. Thank you for your commitment, resilience, and belief in our shared vision. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for the speech. And we'll straight away go into questions and answers. So what we'll do is we'll be taking 3 questions at a time, but then we'll ask that we stick to 1 question per person so that we give chance to others also. So we can raise our hands. I'll use the queue to follow who came first and like that. Now, again, I ask for your forgiveness. Allow me to address you by your first name, just so that I get it right. There are some names, like some of us, which someone wouldn't even know which one is the first and last name and whether you're a Mr. or a Mrs. So just to avoid that, allow me to do that. So I'll start with Richard Chera.
Thank you, CEO. Being the first person to join, I think just allow me to
just hold before you start.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I'm saying being the first person to join, I think just allow me to ask 2 questions. Is that
I think fair enough.
Okay. So first and foremost, I think I'm glad with the strides that we are making. My first question is on the northern region. What activities or what measures are being put in place to ensure that the northern region is as active as we may need it to be? Then secondly, it's on the membership. I noticed in the SI, the membership has been increased. I think even with the licenses, they've been increased by almost 100%. So I wanted to find out, do we know the current number of ICT professionals that we have in the country? And then if we know or if we don't know, what is our current total membership? Because I think that will give us a clue on how much we are faring when we compare the ratio between the professionals that we have compared to the current membership. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes Lengalenga.
Hello, did you call my name?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So my name is Mwaka Lengalenga from Zambia Daily Mail newspaper. So I would just like to get from the president how, seeing that we're coming to the end of the year, how the sector has performed, and in what ways can the sector be improved, especially through the association. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes. Maybe while we wait for more questions, allow me to ask the president to respond to those.
Mr. Richard Chera, good to see you in a long time. We just meet in these, gatherings. So the northern region has been actually on the top of our agenda. And as you saw, last year we ensured that we actually held the first mini expo in Solwezi. This was aimed at, giving hope and confidence to our members who are based in the northern region that actually we haven't forgotten about you. And we declared that this will be an annual event. So to ensure growth, one, we ensure that this expo, the Northern Region Expo, is held every year, focusing on the activities on the Copper Belt, not just on the Copper Belt, in the Northern Region, sorry. As who grew up in the Copper Belt, we are used, when we see that, we just see that it's Copper Belt. But the Northern Region, Also, we intend between maybe the first quarter, we intend to do a lot of KT scores in corporate institutions on the copper belt, from the mining all the way Lumwana, coming there, Chingola, Chilawombe, Mufrila, not forgetting these northern province and these other provinces. We ensure that we pay KT scores in strategic places to introduce ourselves and invite our members to be part of this association. And also, we intend to establish in future, an office in this region. But according to our constitution, if you read, it allows us to establish a standalone chapter like in a region when you reach a particular number. So we want to see, with this robust membership system, it will be able to now tell us and categorize members according to the regions. And through the CEO, he is going to be recommending at what point he feels we are free or mature enough to set up an office in a particular region. But in our strategic plan, this will be one of the key issues to ensure that we set up these and decentralize some of the issues so that we allow people in these regions also to come up with the inputs in our activity plan, spelling out some of the activities that they intend to hold in the region. So that's what we intend to do to ensure growth. However, more advices are welcome from you, Bwana. If you have very workable ideas, please don't hesitate to contact us. We operate an open door office. When it comes to the membership, the paid up membership as at now stands at 3,000. So that's why we said we've grown for about 300, because we were trading about 1,200. But in the past 2 years, we've seen that the growth comes to about 3,000. With the SIs, again, we intend to double this number maybe in the next 2 years. So we are looking forward to have maybe about 6,000 to 7,000 members and eventually grow into the biggest professional body. Mwaka Lenga, I think your question is there are a lot of improvements that has been shown in the ICT sector. To start with, I think when we talk of ICT, we can't talk without mentioning the government. We saw the introduction in trying to improve connectivity, the government introducing things like Starlink. The government, also just recently introducing free Wi-Fi in the social places. We saw the onboarding of about more than 300 activities on the government bus services to enable, the citizens enjoy these digital activities rather than them moving from one place to another. We saw the number of events that the government held in Zambia at international level, attracting a lot of countries and representatives. And I think, all in all, I think we've seen a very steady growth in a lot of innovations in Zambia than ever before. So what improvement can be done through ICTAZ? I think we know that we're a professional body and we've got a huge database of professionals. So we are giving ourselves as partners of the state to ensure that we work with the state and ensure that we push the ICT sector forward. You heard when we were, saying that we've participated in a lot of national activities. We are called to sit on interviews. We are called to sit on tenders. We want to start doing research on behalf of the government, technological related research, so that we have also input in some of the areas where we feel the government, is lacking. So there are a lot of things that we can, mention, but we are there as a profession to ensure that we give our experts to help the government push this digital agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We can take a question from Maxon Muyenga. Let's put it up.
Thank you, CEO. Mine, I don't know if I'm still restricted to one question or I can even have two, since people are not coming forth with questions. But the first one
I've
is...
got a number of hands actually in the queue. So maybe we could do one question, then if we remain with time, we can come back.
Okay, then I'll go for this one. It is I don't know if I would put it as conflict of interest or double standard, which EIZ is playing. For small firms which we run for ourselves, you would find that when you are bidding for small contracts here, the evaluators would require EIZ certification or registration instead for ours. I do not know what plans as an association that you have, so that you sit down with your sister, with our sister institution, which is EIZ, so that we have some form of understanding to say when one is a member here, this other side should be waived. If a firm has been registered with us, this other side should be waived. And like making it compulsory to say you are bidding for this, you need EIZ registration. I think on our part it's being unfair.
Thank you so much. Chimwemwe Lungu.
Yes, thank you very much. Just a follow-up to what my brother just said. That was one of my concerns. So I had two questions, but let me ask the other one. I think ICTAZ is doing quite a good job, but I would also like the association to go a step further by ensuring that even these parastatals and private institutions compel every. IT is now a profession. This it's a profession. So we are being labeled otherwise in certain institutions. Others are compelling individuals to be registered. And you have to register twice in the worst case scenarios. We've got EIZ, you've got ICTAZ. So like he said earlier, I think there should be some MOU somewhere between the sister associations and ICTAZ. And ICTAZ also should also ensure that anyone practicing ICT related field is registered with the association, so that we don't have double standards. All you know, I think that was my concern.
Thank you, Francis Kawesha.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. My question or comment is to do with how ICTAZ will position itself to address the skills gap. I think we will have this database of where we will know our members, how the members is growing, but we need to address the skills gap because we have a perception of our higher education institutions producing graduates who industry feels are half-baked or not ready for industry. So this is, I think, an area that our association has to play a key role in curriculum development and the likes for the programs running in higher education institutions. Just comments on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I come to Maxon Yenga, let me take a question from Ngoma. It's interesting. I'm not sure how the other name is pronounced. Hayaza. Okay, the hand seems to have dropped. Since we've got 3 questions, maybe I can allow the president to respond, then we can come to Maxwell once more.
Okay, thank you, CEO. So let me start with the first one was Maxon Mwenga. So Maxon, the issue of actually EIZ and us shouldn't even arise now. And that's why I think in my speech, initial speech, I mentioned and called upon all of you to be ambassadors of ICTAZ. I would appeal to all of you to download the act. Also obtain the copies of SI, is it number 72 and 92 of ICTAZ. These 2 copies are very important. They are small copies. Please ensure that you get these copies, read them thoroughly, acquaint yourselves with this act, and they'll sort out the issue of EIZ and ICTAZ. The act clearly stipulates that no company shall employ a person who does not hold a practicing license. Any company that is practicing ICT or interested in ICT, mark the word, practicing or interested. Again, it goes on by saying no individual shall practice ICT without a practicing license. And anyone who breaches this will be liable to be convicted, fined, or both. Now, where is the difference? I'm here, Sinyangwe. If I'm employed by an engineering firm and I'm practicing mechanical fitting for whatever reasons, the question is, where am I supposed to be affiliated to? Am I practicing ICT or engineering? I'm practicing engineering in that case. Then EIZ may come and question me why I'm not licensed. I do not have a license to practice engineering. Similarly, we have a person who did electronics, telecoms, mechanical, whatever, but they are good in programming and they've been employed in an IT firm. Where are they supposed to be? They are supposed to obtain an ICT practicing certificate. So the key word is, you are licensed to practice. It's like I hold a driver's license C. Then I want to go and drive those E1, or whatever trucks. I can't be allowed. If I have an automatic license to drive automatic, I can never go and drive a manual car. So similarly, our laws are very clear. And even when you bid to search, look at the tender. Is the tender an engineering-based tender or it's an ICT-based? What was the requirements? The moment you notice that the requirements on an ICT are showing engineering, reach out to the association through the office and query. Then the association will take it up and contact the people who've advertised. And that's where you come, and those are some of the benefits that you can have as corporate institutions. Once you see that the requirement is not fairly done, please reach out. They are looking for a programmer, and then they put under to say you have to be a member of EIZ. That even us as ICTAZ will stand up and support you and defend you to ensure that you get what belongs to you. So it's very clear. We may not even need to go and sit down. Yes, we've actually written to them and we've requested that we sit down, them and us, and we ensure that come 2025, this works. We want to sit so that the two institutions can work and collaborate together without overlapping in each other's boundaries. So the act is clear. Let's ensure that we acquaint ourselves with it. Then Chumamwelungu, private sectors and parastatal institutions to comply. Yes, we are actually, like I mentioned in the speech again, the lack of SIs held us to do some of these things. But the first quarter, we are embarking through our membership and compliance committees and membership board, we are embarking on a serious inspection activities where they will be going door to door in these strategic cooperation first, but we have to visit all of them. The Secretariat is also writing to also cooperate, to all corporates, to ensure that we are compliant, and then we embark on the endless inspection where we'll be going at random to ensure that the people are compliant. And to just tell you, we attended about 3 series of interviews where we've almost stopped interviews from taking place after finding out that none of them were complied. Then we put our foot down to say this interview is not going ahead until they do the right things, and these things have been done. So these are some of the issues that we are doing to ensure that everyone is compliant, and also begin sensitizing people on the act and the pieces of SIs that we have, so that people know. We'll be writing through our journalists in the press, we'll do interviews on TV, radios, we'll go countrywide to ensure that we sensitize on this. Francis Kawesha, yes, you're very right. This is where you see that one of the reasons why ICTAZ is interested in learning institutions, we want to ensure that we are part of the process of training students. And we've also written that we become part of the people in developing the curriculum from grade 1 up to these tertiary education. So it's only through this that we can improve our doubts or the doubts of our graduates. And we also advising every institution to ensure that they encourage their students to form a student chapter so that they become part of ICTAZ activities. What happens is when we're in Livingstone there, having an AGM, next year, you may see another thing being born where we want, apart from having a masterclass for industry experts, you people, we want to also have master classes for students so that we try to bring the industry closer to the students. By the time they are graduating, you see that the students will be well versed with industrial practices. So we'll be calling upon you people, some of you, to ensure that during the AGM, you go and have a session with the students on different aspects. So through that, we'll improve, the performance of these students and overcome that challenge.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll come to Maxon Muyenga.
Yes.
After Maxon Muyenga, I go to Goma Ayaza. I hope Goma mic now is okay. Then we go to Chianjano Social Club. So we take 3, and then I'll pick up from there.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. President, your mic is on.
18 Joka Road.
Mr. President, your mic is on.
Mr. President, kindly mute your microphone.
Hello?
We were able to hear what you are presenting there in the private call. So members were requesting you that you mute your microphone.
We are waiting for the question.
Mr. Maxon, we can, Mr. Maxon, then we go to Ngoma Ayaza, then Chianjano Social Club.
Hello, is anyone? Who was the first?
Okay, so it seems Mr. Maxon has got a challenge. We're able to start with Ngoma Ayaza. Then we go to.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Mr. CEO. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to all the members, and good afternoon to the president.
Okay, Ngoma, just repeat again.
Sorry, I was just passing my greetings. Were you able to hear me?
Yes, though you're a bit faint.
Ah, sorry about that. I think.
Yeah, you can speak.
Okay. All right. So, my question was centered around the FI that was released, the statutory instrument, the latest one. I had a chance to go through it, and I think three things came out from it. I think the establishment of the board and the committees, as well as the new fees that were proposed. But most importantly, there was a part which discussed membership application and so on, how people are supposed to apply, how the procedure is supposed to go through the board, and how it should take, I don't know if it's 30 days, within 30 days, a response is supposed to be given. And I think I did have a chat with one of the colleagues from the executive, and I was told actually the process is supposed to be faster, not necessarily the way it is being presented in the SI. I don't know, don't you think we are contradicting ourselves in this particular case? Because what we want as an association is, quick processes to be done. Registration shouldn't take long, like we are not IT professionals. I think registration in our case should be something that should be quick and straightforward. So if we are going to follow what the SI is saying, don't you think at the end of the day we end up contradicting ourselves? The law is saying the process must take at max 30 days. Meantime, we want, as an association, want it to be done very, very quickly. Thank you very much.
We get another one from Chianjano Social Club. There is Schoonza. Adslas Magena.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr.
Afternoon.
CEO. You can hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I just wanted to bring back the issue that Mr. President had already talked about, which is concerning the AIZ. You mentioned that if someone applies to an engineering company, for example, but you're practicing ICT, you require your practicing license which belongs to our industry, not maybe the other one. But since I've heard that you'll be having the meeting with them, you can also check on their platform. If someone is trying to apply for the licensing, practicing licensing, there's a list of most of the courses actually that you are dealing with, like our industry deals with. So it means that their practicing license is taking over our professionals as well. So I'm not sure, maybe in the dialogue.
And can you repeat just what you're saying? I think I'm a bit confused.
Oh, okay.
Speak up a
Can you
bit.
hear me now?
Yes.
I can say it?
Yes, now you are clear.
Okay, what I was saying is that when you check on the platform for EIZ, if someone is trying to apply for a practicing license, there's a list of courses, for example, like the diploma in information technology and the others that are supposed to be licensed. If like the practicing license should be taken from our board, profession board. So what I'm trying to say is that as you'll be having, for example, a dialogue with them, as you sit down and to talk about the way forward, how these two practicing licenses should go with, if they can also just maybe take down maybe these courses on their platform so that they're taken over by this board. For them, they can just concentrate with the engineering part, so that if someone would like to practice ICT in their companies, should require this other licensing. Because if we leave it like that, it means that someone can just apply for EIZ and get an ICT practicing license and still go with the job. That means for our side, this side, those who have got this practicing practicing license will also be disadvantaged. This is what we just saw. This was just my concern on that one.
Okay, noted. Gary.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, everybody. Just a comment on, it's not a question, it's a comment about EIZ. You know, the procuring entities are the ones that create terms of references for purchases and so on. And they are the ones who often prescribe the wrong requirements, such as must be a member of EIZ, rather than ICTAZ. So yes, we need a lot of sensitization. I agree with you. But then maybe we should also engage ZPPA and Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply. It's the same with employment. You find that still saying must be a member of EIZ. The HR department are getting it wrong, and they've put it in the job description that they want somebody who's a member of EIZ rather than ICTAZ. Again, we need a lot of sensitization here.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you.
We've taken notes, yeah.
Okay, so we'll go back to Chianjano Social Club. If there's still a question, taking into consideration that most of what came were recommendations and obviously as advisory to the association. But then there was Chianjano. I don't know if your question, it's a second question, and School Unza before the president can react to what came. So to give chance to others also.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. President and everyone. I just want to seek clarification regarding the recent decision by ICTAZ to raise membership fees by 100%. Could you please provide more details on the rationale behind this significant increase and how it aligns with the association's long-term goals for the ICT sector? Additionally, I would also like to inquire whether ICTAZ has any plans to assist in establishing fixed standard salary scales for IT professionals in the country, with a growing demand for skilled IT talent. Having clear salary benchmarks could greatly support the sector's development and ensure fair compensation for professionals at all levels. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chianjano. Okay, allow me to take these two questions. I believe the comment from Mr. Mkelebai was a comment, and Adaslas Mangena was a recommendation which we've taken note and appreciated. Fungoma Kayaza, you are talking about having an issue with the process. I hope we are not confusing the disciplinary, cases, the procedures. When you read that SI, I have it before me, the professional ethics and compliance. This one, it's the one that has those things you're talking about, 30 days. Yes, this is bordering on the issue of maybe you want to report a grievance against a fellow practitioner. You want to report a wrong so that it is investigated. The application takes time because it has to undergo certain procedures. There are committees that needs to sit, the ethics and compliance committee. They can appoint another ad hoc committee for investigations. Then the 30 days, after 30 days, other issues as prescribed by these forms that are there. Otherwise, when it comes to registering as a member, we've ensured through our registration board that you can actually get your practicing license even within a day. I think those people who are applying now, we've seen people, I was talking about those interviews we were chairing, where we told them that the interviews won't go on until they apply. We asked them to apply. They applied like this afternoon. The following morning, they had all the certificates issued to them. So on registration, we are an IT body, and we ensure that we ensure speedy registration of membership and practicing. However, when it comes to fulfilling or implementing these the Act number 7 of Act number, or the SI is number 72 of 2024, the professional ethics and compliance. This one, believe me, needs time because it's bordered on people's professional status. You can what can I say, suspend practicing license of an individual. You can revoke a practicing license of an individual. You can, this can lead the person to be convicted in the courts of law and other things. So the times that are there, we need a lot of time, and that's why we talked of engaging legal staff here to ensure that they are handling all these issues. I hope this is clear, but I'll allow also CEO to add just a voice to it.
Thank you, President. So what basically the President is explaining is we have regulations and the profession and the rules. And now these have got procedures in a manner in which certain things are done. So for instance, the President referred to the rules, and I'm also going to refer to the regulations. Now, these are statutory instruments which are prescribed as a result of a particular section of the Act. Now, membership is applied, and you need also to understand that it's the granting or otherwise, the acceptance or otherwise, it follows due diligence to be done. Now, we have the membership registration board, like the President mentioned, which is supposed to sit and review the application of membership. And this board gives registrar and secretariat delegated authority to grant or otherwise an application if the necessary parameters are needed. Should at any point Secretariat feel that this application needs further investigation or is supposed to be tabled before the membership registration board, we need to have provisions of the timelines for such. And the same regulation you've referred to, if you read it carefully, I have it with me here, that's regulation 11.4 says, sorry, regulation 11.3 says the board shall within, it does not say the board shall on 30th day, within 30 days of receipt of application under subregulation 3, there's a subregulation above, grant or reject the application. So it's within, it's a duration. So you need to, the takeaway is what the President said. Applications are done almost instant for as long as everything has been made. Secretariat has got delegated authority. Nevertheless, I need to emphasize this. We also have the duty to protect members. We've got situations where someone sees a tender today and they want to come just now and they want to put us under pressure to grant them a certificate. We also have the duty to protect those who've been members, who've been loyal to us, and we ensure that we do the right thing before we grant the application. I hope it is clear from what the President said and what I've added. Thank you. Yeah, taking into that these are the same hands, I'd seen two hands from Owen I don't know if the question has been superseded or the question of contribution. And I also saw AK. I don't know if the questions have been superseded. Are we able to come through?
Good afternoon, CEO.
We can't hear you.
Good afternoon, CEO. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Mine was mainly just a recommendation that for instances where we have colleagues that firstly, let me introduce myself for starters. Abel Kabwe is my name. For colleagues that may be using be it institutional accounts, maybe it would be prudent that they introduce themselves for having to be able to add context to who contributed, and in case we need to make further follow-ups to the contributions that have been made. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. Okay. Do we have any new questions? Especially that we've kept people for 2 hours now. Maybe we can allow the last 3 questions, new questions. Any 3 questions? Yes, 05 Inc. Okay. Let me read what you've written on the side. 05 Inc. has written, maybe it could be that they've got issues with the mic. Good afternoon, Chair and everyone. Just a concern, student chapters are lacking proper representation in the committee at national level. I'm saying this because of what happened before the AGM. Student chapters were almost left out, and also the recent dinner gala. It's our suggestion as students that as we enter 2025, is it possible that we can have at least a student representing his fellow members, I believe, at national level in the committee, unlike our representatives from the Secretariat? All right, I will pass on to the President to react to that.
Thank you very much, 05. I don't know what's your name, like Mr. Kawe Guided would want to know your name. Do you mind sharing your name? You can even type, we can see your name. Emmanuel from CBU. Yes, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I think if you followed the proceedings, I mentioned that in the Act. Okay, first let me start by saying ICT Association of Zambia is a professional body for ICT professionals in Zambia. But not only that, we also mandated to regulate the students who are studying ICT in institutions, higher learning institutions. So the way the ICT is, ICTAZ is governed by the Act number 7 of 2018, and that's what establishes us, and all our mandates are drawn from the same Act. So under the Act, the composition of the structure of the council is enshrined in the Act. And it's very difficult for us to change to say, oh, we want to add a student. However, there is also a provision for chapters, and that's where a chapter now comes in for a student. Now, these chapters, it's a matter of us devising a way in which we can bring chapters closer to the national level. And so far we've done well. You agree with me that in the history of ICTAZ, or Computer Society of Zambia, last year was the first time ever that we invited students to attend the AGM at a very minimal costs. We only asked, I think, institutions to pay, was it 6,000? Yes. But this 6,000 included transporting you from here to Livingstone, accommodating you for the number of days that we were there, feeding you for the number of days that we were there, and each chapter was represented by at least 5. So when you calculate, you see that we wanted to do that so that we start moving the students from, closer to the national level. Now, what we intend to do in the next, in future, and our strategic plan, you will see that we may create, not necessarily to bring a student to sit on the board, because here it's a bit different and we have to fulfill the provision of the act, but we may create each president representative of those. They may have a group where they'll be meeting to feed in our professional development committee. So that way, you are going to be part of the deliberation, or the closer we can bring you is to bring you in one of the committees so that the heads of those chapters, because we can't bring, if you have 40 schools in Zambia, even if we brought one person to sit on the committee, it may not be well represented. So we promise you that we'll devise a way on which we can bring and bridge the gap between the students and the national leadership. But so far we've started on a good note. You've seen the hackathons. I think CBU has been participating actively. And let me commend you here for being one of the most active member in your individual capacity, Emmanuel, and also belonging to one of the active chapters. So assure your friends that we have you at heart. I've made pronouncements here that we are fighting for an MOU to ensure your internship and job placements. We have also made pronouncements to say we are creating master classes for you at the AGM. So you can see what we are doing, that we are really carrying along the students with us and through hackathon. So we get your concern, and we will ensure that in the first or second quarter of 2025, our northern chair will visit the student chapters on the northern region, and the Midlands chair will visit these others to ensure we can align ourselves and bridge this gap. And then there is somebody who commented on the fees, being increased by 100%. That's the schools. I don't know your real name, sir. If you don't mind, you can type for us or tell us, so that in future we meet and greet one another. But like this, we want to know who School Unza is. If I may, take you to the fee schedule, the only fees that have gone 100% upwards are fellows. The rest, I will use the percentage. And like I told you, a lot of things were put into consideration. The fellow is the highest level of membership in ICTAZ, meaning a person has accomplished a lot of things in the IT. They've worked for many years. They've attained the highest competences and skills. And it's like in the army, you are the general. The general, the group you call generals, not even colonels or lieutenants, but the generals are what we refer to as fellows. From here, you are not looking for any other categories, because you are the captains of the industry. So these, we thought, what is 1,200 or 1,500 to a person who is senior in this association? But you find that for these others, they are as low as 800, 600, 1,200. I think if I may check in the general regulations, I'll find that fellow, yes, has moved from 1.5 to 3,000, but these others like full member, it's 1.5, the associate is 1,000, licentiate is 700, and affiliates 500. You will see that still, even if you benchmark to other professional bodies, let's give an example, EIZ. A fellow of EIZ does not even pay 3,000. It's way, I have the fee schedule with EIZ here. It's available on their website. The fellow pays 5,900 for a Zambian. For a non-Zambian is 15,100. Meaning we are cheaper by 3,000 for a Zambian and cheaper way below for a non-Zambian. For a professional engineer who is equivalent to a full member, as we are saying 1.5, EIZ is now renewed as 1,700. 2,534 new registration, then renewal 1.7. We are still cheaper in this when you compare. When you talk of associate membership or incorporate engineer, 2.5 same as the professional. Associate is 830. Our associate is what? Associate says what? Okay, associate is 1,000, because when you look at the engineers, they have a lot of categories, but we've summarized our categories to just about 4 or 5. So you find that we are still way cheaper. Go to Zambia of Marketing, go to Zika, go to LAS. You still find that these fees that we have, we still remain the lowest in Zambia. I'm just being availed with the fees for the Zambia Institute of Human Resource, and I can see that students, it's 200. In our case, students, it's 100 kwacha. Affiliate member for them is 1.4. As it's very cheap, I think it's less than 500. When you go to other, the highest they have is 4,700, 4,500, 2,000. So these are the benchmarks that we are done. And for Zika, students is at 800 when ours is 100 kwacha. So I know it's not easy, ladies and gentlemen, to accept or see any increase in fees, be it transport, be a cost of meal meal, be anything. But at some point, we just need to accept that for an association to thrive, we need rentals, we need to pay for building. And soon, you'd want to have a beautiful ICTAZ house here. How are we going to build? Our colleagues from EIZ had introduced a building levy, which they put at 10% of your fees to build that beautiful building that you've been comparing. You've been calling us to ensure that we have a building like them. How are we going to have a building if we do not have any money? So we just appeal to you to work with us. This may look different. The only thing we may need, I'm not trying to say, like we said, the government, how are they paying? They're negotiating the payment mode. I'm not saying all of us can do that. Those of us who can afford, we can pay those. Those who can't, contact the registrar or the secretariat to give your case and proposals. Then we'll move this association together in the right direction. Otherwise, we had all the members at heart. The time we are reviewing this, the government was involved and they published this for 21 days on the website. We pushed in our group for people to see these things, but unfortunately, as usual, very few feedback and none arguing the price was done. So thank you very much.
Mr. President, there's also another question. So this is from Chiangano Social Club. Chiangano says, I'm the one using Chiangano Social Club. I'm Gordon
Oh, it's from 5FM.
5FM.
Young Golden, how are you?
My question is, what are your take on independent repairers, such as those in the streets, fixing electronics appliances, among others?
Golden, the question is, what are they practicing? Like I said, the Act guides. I wish he had exactly quote where they said anyone practicing or interested in ICTs needs to obtain a practicing license. So that definition is very wide. If you understand, those people, if I repair laptops, what am I doing? Am I practicing ICT? If I'm doing any communication related, I will ask the chair membership to add on. But what I'm trying to say is anyone practicing ICT is supposed to, obtain a practicing license to practice. So if fixing electronic appliances such as computers amounts to, because those are hardware that we use in ICTs. If it's fixing computers, then it's practicing and definitely needs to have a license to practice. Let me allow my chair membership also to add the word.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think also just to add on to what the president has said, Gordon, one of the things that we've done, I think your next question was, do they also obtain a practicing license? So one of the things that we've done in order to also accommodate those colleagues of ours who may not have an IT qualification per se, we do have an affiliate category of membership which accommodates them. So yes, they are able to, they must also get a practicing license, and also this caters for those that may just be street IT guys, if there's such a term as you would call those that have just learned a trade through engagement and not really gone to any institution of learning to obtain a particular qualification. They are also covered under the affiliate membership. I submit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Abel. So Gordon, let me just add on what Abel is saying. So there are two things there. There is a person practicing and there is a firm operating. Get this clearly. The firm under the law needs to be registered as a corporate member for it to practice that, or to employ a person who is going to work there as a technician. And then an individual is joining that. If it does not have qualifications of IT, but is doing such works, that's what Abel was trying to explain to you, that they can fall under affiliate membership. So there are two things. There's a corporate membership and there is individual membership. But they all apply depending on it. If the company is employed, the company, it's independent, it's a limited company, or it's a sole trader, it's registered. It has to be registered with ICTAZ as a corporate member. And then the person who's operating or employed has to be registered either as an affiliate or any of those categories, depending on the qualifications. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for the elaborate answers. Mr. President, with your permission, I think let me just give assurance to members over something which seems to have been pressing. With a video. Okay, so with me here is a ICTAZ Act number 17 of 2010. So like what the president was saying, let me just give you a bit of rough extract of the act. That's the EID Act. So when you read part 1, it gives you some interpretations. Among the interpretation, it will give you an interpretation of who an engineer is. Then it also gives you an interpretation of engineering. Then it brings in engineering organization, engineering profession, and engineering unit. Then you get time to go through this, what it says. Then when you get further, under part 2, is it part 2? Sorry, when you get further under part, that's the second, yeah, it's under part 2, that's section 19. It talks about application for registration of engineering organization or engineering unit. Then section 3 of that part indicates that the board shall issue a certificate of registration in the following field of competence: civil engineering, electrical engineering, geology or hydrology, geometric engineering, mechanical engineering, metallurgy, mining, environmental engineering, agriculture engineering, or any other field that the board may determine with the approval of the council. Colleagues, this is what the president was saying. The aspect of the practicing of ICT is guided and regulated under the ICT Act. And these are conversations, like has been said, we supposed to have. So should we see adverts both for employment as in an individual tenders? Please, we've got these guiding laws which should guide us. If it falls under ICT, I mean, the two laws are clear and the lines where it is drawn, it's clear. If it's engineering as per the definition, it's either way, it's clear. So let's familiarize ourselves with this registration. Or please feel free to pass through ICTAZ and engage us, check on us. We're always happy to have you here, or welcome us at your place. We'll always come and do share notes. Otherwise, thank you so much for having joined. It's been 2 hours since we started. I just want to really thank each and every one of you, and all of you have stayed up to the very end. It shows how much we want to push this association forward. Thank you so much. Please always check on us. We are always grateful to have you. I've just been guided that there's been something which has been posted on the side, and we are closing with this. I see one president, that's Dim answer. I'm concerned about member engagement and believe it's important to allow members to actively participate in and deliberate on the issues discussed by the committees. This approach will help ensure members feel included and more involved in decision making. Additionally, during meetings, this engagement will reduce the likelihood of pressing issues, as most concerns will have already been addressed. Again, allow me to call the president back, I think, to address this issue, and I'm hoping that we can close on that.
Yeah, Mr. Mansa, good hearing from you. You promised me that you'll be very active and contacting me. Now I'm surprised you've never called me, CC, since April. What's happening? Good hearing from you, and you owe me, a presidential lunch. So I'm waiting. So looking at this, someone says, it's not like we are removing those committees completely. Governance demands that a board should have subcommittees of the board. Any board that you may come up with or you may think of in this corporate world, there is a board, and within the board, they make the subcommittees, maybe 3 or 4 committees for good governance. However, we still have ad hoc committees. Now, these ad hoc committees, like sooner or later, the CEO may be calling upon, we may be appointing an ad hoc committee to drive the constitutional review. So this will be an ad hoc committee just for a specific reason, to discuss the constitution, look at the gray areas, improve them, and do a recommendation to a responsible subcommittee of the board, in this case, the governance subcommittee. Then we'll appoint another committee to look at things like cybersecurity law. We know that the government is in the process of repealing this bill, or I mean the law. So again, we'll appoint an ad hoc committee which will do the deliberation and do a position paper on behalf of it and submit to the government. So you will see that we'll be having a lot of ad hoc committees to ensure smooth running. Alone, we can't manage, but each committee will be looking at, okay, we've got how many activities, we need to do this. Let's appoint a committee for specific reason. They do the work and report about that work. So this approach will encourage participation, and it still be functioning the way we are functioning. The only thing we're doing, we were aligning the structures according to good governance. I only hope I've answered your question, comrade. Thank you. So with these, okay, and I've seen, I don't know what Conrad Simetimbe was talking about. I think he was referring to what the CEO mentioned. Don't you think that will kill creativity and innovation among non-IT people? What about kids using computers to create solutions? Okay, I don't know in what context this was asked. I believe maybe you're talking about the registration of these companies. It's a double-edged sword, Conrad, if I got you well. Again, if these people are not, registering, how are we going to ensure that the sector is clean from this crookedness and fraud? Because a person can go and commit fraud without anyone tracing them or finding them where they are. So that's why, as a professional body, we are mandated to ensure there is professionalism in the sector. And that's why we need to know who is operating as who, where, what do they do. So that in case of anything, we can visit them and ensure that corrective measures are taken. So this does not mean to punish or impede people from practicing, but to bring sanity to the sector. Thank you. I'll pass it over to the CEO.
Thank you so much, President and the members, ICTAZ. We truly are grateful for having stayed with us and having participated in this address by the President. We just wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy 2025. Please, all of us who are yet to onboard on the new system, please let us do so. We need 100% onboarding. We'll be sending you reminders, but if you could just complete, we really appreciate it. And thank you so much. As we leave, I just ask our colleagues from the media to kindly remain, those who are from the media to remain behind. Thank you so much, and allow me to close the address. Hi, colleagues. So we take cognizance that we had some colleagues from the media, and so we would need to know a bit about yourselves. Please get in touch with us with where you're coming from. You could get in touch with the. Let me share the number on the side. Where you're coming from, which institution, then we'll pick up our conversation from there. We'll also be glad to know if you could point us to any piece of news you could publish or anywhere. We'll also be glad. I'm giving you Mwazi Sakala's number. I'm putting it on the chat. Please get in touch. Then we'll have our. Hi, colleagues. I'm so sorry. I think I was talking to myself. I didn't realize I was on mute. I've put a number from Moses Akara on the chat. Please take note of it and let us know where you came from, your food details. Then we'll pick up our conversation from there. But importantly, so let us know, point us to some news outlet or some any piece of news which you get out of this. But please get in touch with her, then we'll have a chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us and good evening.